Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and today it's macho time, people. It's macho time. Today our guest is Hector Camacho Jr. How's it going,
Macho
Hector?
time. John, the pleasure
Cannot-
be on, brother.
Can
The pleasure
never
be on,
forget
John.
that. People, the old school, only old school knows about macho time. New generation.
What
don't
time
know
is it?
nothing.
Macho time.
Time. How you doing, man? I know you've had
It's
a
a
busy week.
pleasure be on, John. It's a pleasure, man. You know what? I like to thank guys like you and the anchor, the reporters, because if it wasn't for guys like you guys, we wouldn't be who we are. You know? You'll put the word out there. You don't get the credit you deserve, but thank you. Thanks for always pushing. What can I say? It's been a macho week. It's been a busy week, man. Thanks to the team. Thanks to Intro Box, Ronald Johnson, Jim X Boxing, Jim in New York. You know, we put this Macho Cup together in honor of Hector Macho Camacho to remind the youth that anything's possible. And why I did in New York, that was my father was raised in New York City. We actually doing the same building that my father was raised from. The same building where he got locked up. The same building where he was a young kid in the streets looking for a way out before boxing came. And from that same building where he was raised, he made it to the White House. The American dream. He made it become three-time world champion, boxing Hall of Famer from the ghetto.
So let's
Anything could be done.
Let's talk about that for a minute. First of all, for the new generation that doesn't know who you're talking about, Hector Camacho, Macho Man, three-time world champion, was the first one to be self-promoted boxer, would come out with all these great, entrances to the ring and all this stuff before any other boxers did it, before Prince Nassim, before anybody else. This guy would come out in full dress, different costumes, have people carrying him out on it, all kinds of stuff.
The Macho Man.
But he wasn't just a showman. Then he got in the ring and he had talent and he put on great fights and great wars, and a lot of people remember this. And he put Sugar Ray Leonard into retirement, and a lot of people might not know that. But unfortunately, he met a violent death. His life was taken by gun violence, and that's why you're honoring your father with a lot of different things you're doing these days. And first, I want to start with this gloves up, guns down. Please explain to me what that is so that the community understands that.
Well, we all know that right now gun violence is the number one death, number one killer for teenage all the way to, to old. My father, the great Hector Macho Camacho, you just said, was tragically killed, murdered from a bullet. And it happens a lot, it's happened a lot more, especially when you come from where we come from. The Macho Man, what I said, came from nothing, grew to greatness. But coming from the nothing is the hard part. And most of our streets are just gun infested, drug infested, man. So I took it upon myself to honor my father and do the first annual boxing Macho Cup in the neighborhood, in the streets he grew up at, in the same building he was raised, in the center. To let the kids know, pass down the dream that anything's possible. This guy came from the same building, ran these streets, got in trouble, got out, made a commitment, dedicated himself, and became a Hall of Fame fighter. And actually went to the White House to meet the president.
Now that's Spanish Harlem, right? Where he grew up?
Spanish Harlem in Barrio. So we doing boxing fights there in honor of Hector Macho Camacho on the Macho Cup. It's free to the public. So we pass it down the dream to the youth. Look, this is an exit. It's a poor man's sport. You don't have to go to college to go to become a professional boxer. Like the other sports, they go to college. In boxing, you just fight your way to the top.
No, that starts on May 18th, right? The first
that's
one
May 18th. Yes, we did it 2 days because May 20th is the Macho Camacho Way street renaming.
Okay, now let's talk about that. So actually, they're going to rename a street in Spanish Harlem, which is 115th Street and Lexington Avenue, is now going to be changed to Macho Camacho Way on the 20th.
Yes, that was something that's well deserved. Something we was pushing to do for years. Me, myself, went to the offices a couple of times, wanted to get it done. It's huge. It means a lot for us, But
but I want to back up again, though, real quick, though, because now doesn't all this go under the umbrella that now is it an organization or what is it? This gloves up, guns down. What exactly is this?
Well, it's a non-profit 501 that I'm working with. It's called Macho, the Macho Foundation. I also joined forces with Adonis Blessings, a good friend of mine, Kevin Oliver. And, he lost his son from death, been murdered. And, my father, so it's close to home. So we joined forces to really push this gloves up, guns down. Really,
Okay.
back in my days, we used to fight with fists. That's how I came up in Spanish Harlem. It was the tough days, the fist, or maybe a knife, but it was the fist. You live to fight another day. Nowadays, it's all about guns. So we begging, we asking the youth, hey, put the guns down. Settle it another way. Here,
So
boxing are out. It's a poor man's sport, like I said. You used to be a pair of gloves and wraps and go fight.
So it's a non-profit organization that pretty much focuses on telling kids, put the guns down, put the gloves on, and get in the gym and get off the streets.
Yes, give them an exit.
Okay, and then now, like I said, you've been busy all week. You've been running around with Ron Johnson. You guys been doing press conferences. I saw it on Thursday online. You guys were on news. They did some news interviews on it. I know Ron Johnson is actually doing a documentary of everything that's going on right now. There's going to be a 60-minute documentary out called Macho Camacho Way soon, right?
Yes.
And but now the Macho Cup, that's an amateur boxing event. Now, is there an actual cup that's going to be given to one individual, or is that just the name of the event?
That's the name of the event, and the awards will be a shaped cup, like an ice, like a Stanley Cup. They call it Macho Cup, and this is the first annual. We see how it goes. I intend to do a lot more nationwide. And this is a nationwide, crisis. This crisis right now is going on everywhere, So looking to get my hands in there, not just talk about it, be about it. And us like OGs, it's our job to get back to the youth.
No, I totally agree, and I think it's a great idea. When I heard about it, I thought that was so cool, man, that you're making a boxing event and helping these kids and give them something to strive for. And then when they ask, well, who's it named after or why that, then they can learn the history of your father and things like that. So that way your father's memory never dies. It continues with this 100%. Macho Cup. It continues with the street being named after him. I mean, he's going to be alive always in so many people's hearts, so many fans' hearts. I mean, anybody that's ever watched your father in the ring, he's unforgettable. He just is.
100%.
Coming to the ring and fighting in the ring. He's unforgettable.
Hey, John, if you watch boxing now, 90% of boxers wear Macho Camacho style boxing trunks. And they probably don't even know where to get it from. He was the first man that changed the boxing game.
I didn't even think about that until you just said it. You're right.
If you look at TV, and none of them have the audacity, you know what? I want to say thank you. I'll put these trunks on a Macho Camacho. They don't know. But you can't blame them. That's our job to push. That's what we pushing.
So tell me about how did the press conference go over on Thursday? How did things go?
Oh, man, it went great, man. It went great. With the Harrell Media Promotion Company led the way in the press. Along with, intro box Ron Johnson. A lot of support there. A lot of support came, and we're on the same way. We want the same goal is to push forward, This means a lot to us. We come from the community. We are the community, So and coming together on a positive note, it felt good. Now we're looking to now present the boxing Macho Cup and make it a success. They keep pushing nationwide.
So now you're not the only one doing this, though. There's a couple other organizations or people involved with you. Kind of give them a shout out to there's a gym involved in what's Ron Johnson's company?
Yeah, 100%. Nothing can never be done alone. It always takes a team and a good team to get things done. Special thanks, I said, to Ronald Johnson. Special thanks to Gym X Boxing Gym.
Yep.
USA Amateur Box Association. Is a lot of faces behind the scene. Harrell Media. There's a lot of people behind the scene that helps out. These don't get done alone. Especially thanks to the team.
Okay. So do you got what else you got going on? I mean, I know this is a lot right now, but I mean, you're always up to something. I mean, last year I saw that you got in the ring with Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. for 4 rounds. I mean, what was that about now?
Man, that was a blessing. When it comes to Chavez, he was one of my heroes. And with somebody who I end up had a grudge against, he beat my father in one of the biggest fights in boxing history during that time in pay-per-view. Then they sold 1 million pay-per-views during that time. That was a big, huge fight.
So now was that like a charity event or what was that part of?
We did an exhibition, It was his last dance. It was something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to fight Chavez. We tried to make that fight happen, and they happy retired. I won the Chavez Jr. That fight never happened. And Julio had the ball, said, you know what? My last exhibition, I want to do with Camacho Jr. And we reached out. Sounded like a good idea. During that time, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones was doing their exhibition bout. So I gave Julio a call. I said, would you be willing to do it? He said, yes. I said, we got it done. It was great. At first, I wanted to knock his head off. But when I seen the great Julio Chavez in front of me with the wrinkles in his face, I mean, this is a legend. I told myself, I cannot go out. I cannot let the legend go out on the last day and beat him up. Who am I? So I had to bow down gracefully, we did the exhibition and let the champion look great.
Nice. I'm sure he appreciated that, but that still had to be an honor, though, to even be in the ring.
Honor. That's my highlight of my life, my career. Somebody who I look, who I watched from young. Somebody who beat my father. It was such a huge time doing boxing when that happened. So yes, it was an honor, man. I stay busy. As you know, 90% of boxing retired broke. After boxing, we don't have a retirement fund in boxing. We don't have no 401k plan in boxing.
No.
Help, we have nothing. So most of the time, we uneducated folks from the streets. We just know how to fight.
So now,
I said, you don't need a college to be a professional fighter.
So now
I try to keep myself going, surround myself with the right people, and that's the key in life.
So now, are you just involved in this, or any of your siblings involved in this? Is Christian involved in this at all, or is this just you?
I open this Macho Cup for everybody to be involved, but I push it myself with something I have a passion with. It's my father that passed away, so I have a passion towards it. So I push them where I go: Dominican Republic, Panama. This is something I've been doing since my father passed away.
But I mean,
I welcome all the help is needed. But I welcome everybody.
Do you and Christian have a relationship?
Yeah, I got Christian, I got Justin, mother, stepbrother. I have Tyler. Of course, I keep a relationship with everybody. I try to keep myself under the same line as my father.
Okay. I mean, well, because I see you the face of this. So I see you out there in the media and I see you push. Yeah. So I just didn't know if any of these guys were involved with it with you, because obviously you're the face. You've been in the ring more. People know who you are more. So I just didn't know if some of the other family members were involved or if this was just kind of you on a solo project.
No, I had the blessings also. When it comes to street renaming, that wasn't me alone. That was my grandmother pushing.
Okay.
She pushed the street rename along with myself, pushed for years. She finished it up. My aunt Raquel finished it up. To the Camacho side, they fixed it up, and no, it's always a team effort. It takes more than one person to get things done, especially when it comes to my father's brand. But I try to take care of it. I mean, it's me moving. I'm sure Christian put event. I'll be there to support 100%. Okay. The doors open for Christian, for everybody. Doors are open, even his enemies. This is a great moment.
So, are you done in the ring? Are you done?
There's a saying: once a fighter, always a fighter.
I know.
I still get called every here and there. Especially what I'm doing now with the press. I always get called for more things. I try to keep myself relevant or out there. So yeah, I might be locking something up soon. It might be possible. I just did a boxing show about 6 months ago under the same banner. Gloves up, guns down, Dominican Republic.
Okay, so you're doing some promoting then.
I always try to stay busy in life. If I'm not doing this, I'm working on something. If I ain't doing that, I'm working on my cannabis brand, Macho Time Cannabis. I'm always looking to keep myself active.
Put that
and keep it working.
Put that back up on the screen for a minute.
What time is it? Macho Time.
Okay, and let's talk about that. The Macho Cannabis. So you got that going on too.
Yeah, we got that in California. Me, myself, my partners, Bobby Sanchez, Vinny V, Emerson. Yeah, we push, Just another way to keep the youth and remind them or let them know who is Hector Macho Camacho. Exactly. Scan the QR code. You see some of his fights. You see what's going on, who he is. That's another way to get to the streets. But no, this is something that's medical, and I push hard on it. I've been a cannabis smoker from young. I would see my family do it. I noticed that I kept my grandmother busy. My grandmother was mean. But whenever she smoked her joint, she would calm down, clean the house, won't bother nobody. So I looked at it as medicine. And it's been proven medically that our body's cannabinoids. We have that in our system. So yeah, the greatest swimmer, Michael Phelps. Is a big stigma when talking about cannabis. They're looking at drugs, especially Latin countries.
So if any of you guys are out there in the California area, man, and you're going to those dispensaries, get yourself some of that macho stuff.
I don't push it too much. It might make you want to fight. Who knows? It makes me want to shadow box and relaxes me. Yeah, but that's what's life, man. Staying busy, I don't promote it much because I also relate to the kids. But this another area where the kids who are involved and they could relate to me. I come from the same or worse surrounding. I come from bad upbringing. I came from Spanish Harlem, drug infested. I could relate to their stories. So in the cannabis area, I'm more like educating them.
Well, listen, for the new generation boxers that are coming out there, if you guys go on YouTube and you like watching fights, definitely look up Hector Camacho. Look up Hector Camacho Jr.'s fights.
Macho time.
These are great fighters, man. You guys need to study their fights, watch their fights. Like he just said, he just started in the honor of his father, the Macho Cup. The first one is going to be May 18th in Spanish Harlem. If you're out in that area, definitely please check it out. It's an amateur boxing event. It supports great things. It supports his father and his legacy. And we don't want to let that die. I mean, he's one of the great fighters of the time, 3-time world champion. You don't hear about that very often anymore.
And in June, be on the lookout on Bally Sports, a local sports station, for Introbox presents Macho Camacho Way street renaming. You can see it live. You won't be able to be there May 20th in New York City to celebrate the street renaming, but you can watch it later on in June on Bally Sports.
Okay.
Special thanks to Ronald Johnson, Introbox Boxing, American Dream Promotion.
Yep, Ron Johnson's been putting this whole thing together behind the scenes. He's been documenting everything, so definitely support him and get out there and check this out if you can watch it the minute it gets out there. So he's been putting a lot of work into this. I've been watching it online, things that he's doing and posts and things like that. So he's putting in a lot of hard work for Hector behind the scenes. So everybody make sure you give him your support. Everybody like Camacho said, he can't do this by himself. He's got a lot of people behind the scenes helping him. There's a big team. So they need everybody's
in
support.
Life, you gotta get him on the right people in life. You get further with a stranger than you do with your media circles, depending where you stand at, And like I said, you can't do nothing alone, man. It takes people, and good people to get the great things done.
Anything else you want to say, Macho, before we get off air, man? You want to thank your fans, your supporters? You got sponsors?
No, man. I want to thank everybody involved. I want to say God is great, man. And we're in a good age in boxing now. We thought boxing was dead, and these young folks have really put things together. I salute the young folks, the young fighters out there who risk things on the line. And the boxing fans, it wasn't for y'all guys, we wouldn't be who we are. It's macho time. What time is it? It's still macho time. Thank you, John. Thank you, brother.
All right. And with that, the truth has spoken.